When I first saw the trailer for Mickey 17, I knew it was going to be a comedy, but I didn't expect the emotion that came out of it. Bong Joon-ho definitely hit the mark here with his dystopian future, coming off of his Oscar win for Parasite. I don't know why I thought it was going to be anything different from what he was giving us, but he did a great job of bringing that world to life. But it was Robert Pattinson from the very beginning had me hooked emotionally with this character. A guy down on his luck, makes some bad decisions, and gets off a planet literally to escape his problems. We're talking about a future in which the world is trying to colonize other planets for their survival, and Mickey gets himself into a program that requires him to die over and over again when we're testing atmosphere, testing air quality, surveying the new world, and even some tests that they do while they're traveling to the new world in space. But the thing that took me by surprise was actually Robert Pattinson. I've seen him as Batman, I've seen him as a vampire, right? Shimmering vampire, but I never seen him like this. He was almost like a whimpering pushover in this movie, not a strong hero in that sense. I've never seen him like this, but he did a great job. It was all the way through, I believe that he was this character. Everything from the voice to the mannerisms, he was a completely different person. As a sci-fi film, when you're talking about what's happening to Mickey, cloning, out in space, new worlds, yes, it was all there. I didn't expect so much political satire as well as themes of and conversations about ethics. So Mark Ruffalo did a great job. It was very on the nose, but I think given the situation that the world was in this movie, it kind of lent itself to that. Bong Joon-ho definitely had a message to say because Mark Ruffalo does his best Trump impression, and even the people who believe in his message about, finding the new world, bringing a new civilization out, there's a lot of things that mirror the real world, not only his impression and how he acts, but also like people on the ship as they're going to the new world of Niflheim, wearing the red hats, right? So that's so on the nose. Just the speech that Mark Ruffalo gives does mimic a Trump. It's funny because in the trailer I was like, okay, so he's going to this new world and he's dying over and over. Why are they fighting? Because, there's a little bit of fighting in them. And then I was like, oh, okay, I see why. I get it now. It's because of who Mark Ruffalo is, his wife egging him on. It's just a lot of proving himself to be that great leader that, he wants to be seen as. Camera crew and all. And it's funny because as the movie was going on, it went from like political satire to like situations that we can see in the real world to actually talking about, ethical things, what they're doing, colonization. And there was a great speech given to us by Naomi Ackie, who plays Nasha, and she does a great job in that scene. And actually throughout the whole movie, her character is actually a love interest of Mickey 17, and who defends him at every turn, wants to be with him, and doesn't treat him like an expendable, which is his job title, like everyone else does. Everyone else really just sees him as a body bag, right? And she's a big part of all of it, right? And even till the end, she does a great job, and all the supporting characters do. Even Steven Yeun, who plays his best friend, who actually gets him into the trouble that he's in, does a great job of being his character, Timma. Mark Ruffalo's character was actually reminded that they're actually the aliens. They came here to the planet. The creatures who were there, I'm sure someone's gonna get a plushie because they were, in the beginning you were like, oh, ooh, but then later in the movie, because of the bond that the creatures have with their family, there's like almost like a beehive, I want to say. There's a main queen bee, and she's trying to protect her babies, right? You actually see what they're willing to do to protect their own from these aliens or humans. Just the speech that they gave reminded me of, Native Americans, colonization around the world, a place being taken over, trying to wipe out or remove the current inhabitants. When you think about sci-fi and like test tubes and aliens and these things, right? I've come to realize that you're really looking at this movie from the perspective of the test subject perspective. Robert Pattinson just over and over again dying. At a certain point, it got a little cringe because he was put in situations that were like, ooh, I would never want that happening to me, right? and I felt bad for him. So at a certain point, the movie was going on. Because of the emotional connection, it wasn't so much a comedy to me. Yes, there were laughs in between. I did chuckle a bit, you know, but everything that was happening to Mickey, I was just like, wow, that's brutal, right? And it almost became hard to watch, and you were really trying to figure out or get to a solution to all of this. It does take some twists and turns to get there. I was so invested in Mickey that, you know, towards the end, I did shed a tear. I was, you know, really emotional, just how everything wrapped up, and you really care for him, right? So as he's being hurt and all of these things, you really feel bad for the guy, and it's like, this is a sucky situation that you wouldn't wish on probably your worst enemy. But the range that we get from Robert Pattinson, huge. He actually plays 17 and 18, totally different characters. 18 is more of a, how can you let them do that to you? We need to fight back. Mickey, like I said, is almost like a pushover in this, really unsure of himself. And it's really their situation together that really resolves the issues that they're having. All in all, I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5. If you like sci-fi, if you like satirical comedies, you're gonna love this film. Everything from Robert Pattinson in a light that I'd never seen him before, being weak, being vulnerable, being a pushover was not what I expected. And all the supporting cast, especially Naomi Ackie playing Nasha, was a pure standout. She, from beginning, middle, and end, loved her performance. Mark Ruffalo portraying a Trump-like person was just great, and I think the messaging Bong Joon-ho wanted to present really came through Mark Ruffalo. Although at a certain point, a lot of the deaths to me started becoming cringe, and it was kind of hard to watch, but that just set up a great emotional reaction for me at the end. Speaking of Mickey 17, I have about 17 more movies over here, and as always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.